You know that moment when one message ruins your entire day? She leaves you on red. You see her post a story with some other guy. Your chest tightens. Your mind starts writing a whole movie. And suddenly, you're useless at work, snapping at people who did nothing to you. Here's the part nobody told you. That emotional punch in the gut, biologically, it only lasts about 90 seconds. After that, it's not her. It's you replaying the scene in your head, feeding the fire instead of letting it burn out. If you don't fix this, it won't just cost you one girl, it'll cost you years. You'll keep losing women, jobs, and self-respect because your emotions are running the show. Tonight, I'm going to give you the code to become that unbothered man, the guy who feels everything but doesn't get dragged by anything. Let's talk like men, no sugarcoating. Right now, your biggest problem is not that you're too nice, not that you're short, not that you're not rich enough. Your weakness is that anyone with a Wi-Fi connection can control your mood. One dry text and you spiral. One joke in front of friends and you shut down. One little delay in her reply and you're refreshing her profile like it's a stock chart. You're not broken. You're just running old emotional software nobody taught you how to update. Family, school, movies, they trained you to be the good boy who avoids conflict, chases approval, and takes everything personally. The good news? Code can be rewritten. But first, we have to see the pattern. 1. The 90-second storm versus the story loop. First rule, separate the storm from the story. When something triggers you, a rejection, a disrespectful tone, a girl cancelling date plans, your body floods with stress chemicals. Heart rate goes up, stomach tightens, face gets hot. That wave lasts roughly a minute, maybe a bit more. That's the storm. What keeps you suffering for hours isn't the storm. It's the story you start telling yourself after. She never cared. Of course she chose him. I'm such a loser. That's the loop. Confident men feel the same 90-second hit you do. They just don't feed it with a screenplay. They let the chemicals pass without turning it into a 3-hour mental movie. Next time she sends something that stings, do this. Notice the wave in your body. Name it. I feel jealousy. I feel anger. Then, give yourself 90 seconds where you do nothing. No texting, no replying, no stalking her page. Just breathing and letting the wave crash. After that minute and a half, then you decide what story you're going to tell. Not the default one your fear writes on autopilot. 2. The remote control lie. You've probably said this. She knows exactly how to push my buttons. Sounds true. It's also a lie that keeps you weak. You're not a remote control. Nobody can push buttons you don't hand over. Those buttons she keeps hitting, they're old wounds. The feeling of being compared to a brother or a friend and coming up short. Being laughed at when you opened up. A parent who made you feel never enough, no matter what. So when a girl plays hot and cold, when she jokes about, "You're like a brother," when she validates someone else in front of you, that button lights up. And your reaction is way bigger than the moment in front of you. Here's the reframe. The people who trigger you are not magicians. They're mirrors. They're showing you where you still bleed. Next time you overreact, ask yourself, what does this remind me of? When have I felt this exact flavor before? You'll start noticing a pattern. Same feeling, different faces. Once you see that, she stops being the villain and the situation becomes data. Oh, that abandonment wound is still online. Good to know. That's not weakness, that's awareness. 3. The gap that makes you dangerous. Between every trigger and your reaction, there is a tiny gap. Most guys live their whole lives never realizing this gap even exists. A girl jokes, they snap. Someone disrespects them, they rage text. Boss criticizes them, they shut down. Instant reaction, no filter, no choice. The men you look at and think, nothing rattles this dude. They're not cold. They've just mastered that gap. Here's how you start. The moment you get triggered, mentally say, pause. literally in your head. Then ask one question. If this was recorded and played back tomorrow, how would I want to see myself responding? That question pulls you out of the emotional fog and into the driver's seat. You go from pinball, bouncing off whatever hits you, to player, choosing your next move. You can respond with silence. You can respond with humor. You can respond with a boundary. But it's chosen, not sprayed out of panic. This is your superpower in arguments, breakups, and high-pressure moments. The gap is small, but if you use it, you become very, very hard to throw off balance. 4. Emotional gym, boundaries, distance, and reframing. Now let's talk about other people. The drama queens, the manipulators, the people who love chaos. Instead of seeing them as curses, start seeing them as a gym. Every difficult person is a workout for a specific muscle. The girl who plays jealousy games? That's training your detachment and standards. The friend who always dumps his problems on you? That's training your boundaries. The boss with the harsh tone? That's training your ability not to take everything as a personal attack. You don't have to be available for everybody's chaos. You can say, "Hey, I want to talk, but not while you're yelling. Let's do this when we're both calm." Or, "I care about you, but I can't be your 2 a.m. therapist every night. Let's set a time to talk properly." That's not being an arsehole. That's being a gatekeeper of your energy. Sometimes the strongest move is also stepping back, a strategic timeout. This conversation matters, but I'm not in the right headspace right now. Let's continue later. That's not running away. That's refusing to swing while you're blindfolded. On top of that, start mapping your triggers like a battlefield. Who sets you off the most? What phrases? What tones? What situations? Write them down for a week. You'll see patterns: authority, disrespect, being ignored, comparisons. Now you're not walking blind. You know where the landmines are. The 7-day unbothered protocol. Let me give you something you can actually run this week. Day 1, the storm test. All week, when you get triggered, don't do anything for 90 seconds. Feel the wave in your body. Name it. Let it pass before you move or type. Day 2, button mapping. Start a tiny note on your phone. Triggers. Every time someone gets under your skin, write who, what they did, and what it reminded you of. Day 3, the gap question. Practice the gap with small things: traffic, slow service, minor disrespect. Ask, what response would I respect tomorrow? Then do that. Day 4, one boundary. Set one clean boundary with someone who drains you. Short, calm, direct, no essay. Day 5, compassionate distance with someone in heavy drama. Care without carrying. I'm here for you, but I can only talk about this for 10 minutes today. After that, let's switch topics. Day 6, story edit. Take one recent situation that bothered you and write down the story you told yourself. Then, force yourself to write at least one neutral or positive alternative. Day 7, review. Look back at the week. Where did you react differently? Where did you still get hooked? That's your custom map for what to work on next. Run this protocol for a month and you won't recognize how calm and composed you feel around women, at work, and with family. Before this, you were the guy whose entire day could be hijacked by one text, one joke, one look. You were the emotional remote control with your buttons out in the open. After this, you become the man who feels the wave but doesn't drown in it, uses triggers as intel, not as excuses, knows his boundaries and isn't scared to speak them. chooses his responses like a chess move, not a knee-jerk punch. You're not emotionless. You're not a robot. You're just not owned by every spike of adrenaline in your system anymore. Nobody gave you this map. Most men were told to either man up and shut down or collapse into emotional chaos. Now you have a third option: grounded, aware, dangerous in a controlled way. From here, your job is simple. Pick one tool and actually use it today. When she takes hours to reply, when your coworker disrespects you, when your ex posts something aimed at you. Remember, the storm is 90 seconds. After that, it's you choosing whether to replay it or release it. If you want more straight, no BS breakdowns like this on male psychology, attraction, and power, you know what to do. Hit subscribe, drop a comment telling me where you lose your cool the most, and we'll turn that exact situation into your next upgrade. You're not cursed, man. You just haven't updated the code yet. Start tonight.